Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you had a great Xmas. And now,
Now you hear about the
back to the
humanized
video.
mice that are part human, or salmon that are part grasshopper that grow twice as fast and kill all the real normal salmon. And just folks, Tucker talks about aliens and absolutely stuff going on. The globalists are making aliens by mixing humans and other animals and insects and plants, and then they put them, they gestate them and use cow uteruses to grow them. This is going on everywhere. So there's like a breakaway whole civilization that's separate from us that the globalists have with life extension technologies and cures to cancer and Parkinson's. But instead of giving us all the cures, they're keeping that for themselves, and they're just getting ready to wipe all us out so we don't even have access to that, whether you think of it as moral or not. But they even had, people didn't believe me when I talked about it when I was reading the documents because we weren't on TV then. I'm reading this on air, and people are thinking that they weren't all getting MIT quarterly. Then MIT about 7 years ago, look this up, humanoid hybrid chimeras are gestating at facilities across the United States. And it goes on to say, part pig, part human, part cow, part human, so that they won't be rejected by the cows that are growing them. They then harvest the organs, they harvest the stem cells, and they've got facilities now with thousands of cows per facility with humanoids growing in them. And this is in the literature, and they don't like me because I go, here's the literature, but they won't let you on the basis. And let me tell you, with the spider goats 25 years ago, I call up one of the places in New York where they've got goats that are part spider, okay? And their milk makes body armor. And I get the head guy, a private contractor in the Pentagon. He's happy. Like, he comes on. 2 days later, he calls back. He goes, "The Pentagon's really mad. They didn't even tell me it was classified. They're going to kill me if you don't take down that interview." Okay? So you're hearing all this. Look up spider goats, 30-year-old stuff. Okay? All of this. So as good as I tell you stuff is, it's also bad because there's a breakaway civilization that's really in like the year 2045, according to their estimates. They've already got way more advanced AI, everything else, but they can't get full control of the human population yet. Because in an hour, if we wanted to tear up all the equipment and the AI systems and shut it down, we could. It's not that it's bad in of itself. It's how it's being deployed against us. That's why they've got to get rid of the farms and the ranches and the gardens and people knowing how to build things and do things. They've got to make us obsolete first, and then they're going to release the real bioweapons that kill the majority of people. That's why COVID was just a drill, they admit it was, to get us locked down. So when they release the real bioweapon, you just stay at home and die like you're supposed to. But we're not going to do it. And if they release the big bioweapon, we know who to go after, Bill Gates. We'll get you in your bunker. And Zuckerberg will bring you to justice legally and lawfully through the court system.
Well,
As
you
if there'll be one
completely
there.
freaked me out. I gotta say.
Yeah, mixing aliens have been one of those top things to do for years. So all the things you might see in the future, just remember it might not be the real deal. It might just be some clone, some genetic modified thing that they created.
Billy's trying to sue me because I got him on a podcast with a real historian who debunked all his BS in terms of Christianity.
Maybe he wasn't crucified.
Yes, the debate freaking took place with Billy Carson and Wesley Huff. Yeah. Keep going.
All right, brother. Love you. Thank
We
you,
can do a
Wesley.
follow-up.
I really appreciate it, Billy. Thanks so much for interacting.
I just had an obstacle thrown at me yesterday. Some crazy crap happened from somebody that I really thought was a close friend. And this person did some diabolical, backstabbing stuff just yesterday.
Diabolical backstab. Billy, please explain to me how getting somebody on an interview with you, which we told you about, is diabolical and backstabbing. You knew exactly what you were walking into, but you were probably too lazy to do your own research because clearly you don't know how to do that. And you didn't look up who Wesley was. And because you came face to face with a real historian and linguist, the fraudulent documents you like to claim as truthful have nothing to stand on. You didn't like that you got exposed.
This is sounding like another witch hunt. See where it goes. Most of these things are made by humans.
Lightning bolts, that's plasma. Ball lightning, the sun is plasma. Aurora borealis, the northern lights, is plasma. It's the fourth state of matter. It's what happens when the electrons and the neutrons become completely disassociated. Solid, liquid, gas, degrees of freedom between electrons and neutrons, right? Even in a gas, there's still bonds. But when you get to plasma, they completely break free. So now you have electrons, neutrons become ions, and because they're electrically charged, they can be influenced by magnetic fields. And they also have this tendency to self-organize under the right conditions. If you apply the right frequency, it's like they spontaneously organize into toroidal form.
You want to break free from the matrix? Go plasma.
All right, the one right there is obvious. It's either a drone or a plane that's flying above them. But those 4 dots right there, it's flying over. Those things have not moved. Holy cow.
So look, I need to tell you what those aliens told those kids in Zimbabwe when they touched down on the playground in 1994. But first, to do that, we need to pay our respects to Miss Emily Trim. She was one of those children on the playground back in 1994, and she recently passed away from a battle with cancer. She was an artist, and she created some dope-ass paintings that we're going to look at in 1 minute. But the UFO encounter impacted her entire life. She spoke at several conferences and became a UFO advocate and helped many people on their path finding the truth. What did she see that day that impacted her so much to paint stuff like this? Emily and the other students all said that the beings had very large dark eyes that almost drew you into eye contact. And once you were looking at them, it was almost these telepathic messages coming through, and it was an overwhelming feeling that we needed to save the environment. The student said that it was an overwhelming feeling that we needed clean air, beautiful trees, beautiful plants, and clean soil to thrive and live on this planet, and we were ruined. Overall, the message that these beings wanted to communicate to these children in Zimbabwe was that the people on Earth were not taking care of the Earth. We were destroying it with certain powers. Now, what were those powers? They didn't say specifically. People have taken it to mean nuclear power, but we can't be sure. Paintings for 1 second, because there's a lot of symbolism in these paintings, and if you know, you know. We've got the eye, we've got the pyramid, we've got this, we've got the orbs down here. There's a lot going on. Rest in peace to this beautiful artist.
Yeah, I remember that story. It's amazing. Wish I was there.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry for my language. I don't know what's going on. Look at all this stuff. You see this? The sky? They're circling literally. They are circling literally. They are circling literally. What is this? Somebody please tell me. I don't know what this is. There's something at the bottom too.
Hey, it's Glamham. So much to talk about with the drones. I am enthralled with the drone situation. It incorporates all of my favorite things like frequencies. And get this, potentially light frequencies. Yes, did you know that the new Wi-Fi is called Li-Fi, light fidelity? And unlike radio communications, Li-Fi is immune to electromagnetic interference, making it perfect for military purposes. What basically happens is actual things that look like lights beam information, imperceptible flickering of light. So to us, it would look like lights, like maybe on a drone. And for the information to pass successfully to a receiver, some sort of mini, tiny, imperceptible camera somewhere on the ground, the light source, or drone, would have to be static, i.e. hover. But what if it also needed to then relocate somewhere else in a more efficient way? It could do what this XP4 is doing and casually convert itself into an aircraft with fixed wings. Pretty neat, huh? I think about 13 feet, which would fit the description of all those people saying they'd seen something the size of a small car hovering and or flying with wings. So this puppy can do both. Obviously, since my account was banned at nearly 300,000 followers, I'm not going to tell you anything is fact, even if it exists. I'm purely speculating. What if there was a drone that could be a plane as well? What if there was this light technology employed by drones because it's immune to jamming and perfect for the military? Not going to tell you that. No. Okay, I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
See? He's telling you. It's the government. Always has been.
Also, let's talk about this whole alien thing. Now, with all of the information that's been coming out over the last, 15, 20 years pretty much, most of you, if you truly are chosen, have felt it in your heart, and you have absorbed some of that information into your heart, into your soul, because the Almighty has allowed you to understand that there is a lot of truth there, okay? Now, you have to remember, there's a lot of guys on TikTok out here who are telling you right now that those who are coming are not actually aliens. Well, I've been saying that for years also. Here's what they are. They're the spirits of the Nephilim. The displaced spirits of the Nephilim, the giants, the titans, right? The demigods of the pre-flood era. That's who these demons are. Now, if they indeed have found a way to live in these little alien flesh suits, or they're possessing people, or whatever the case may freaking be, it doesn't matter, because we serve the Most High. And if we're going to spend all of our time just being concerned over every light that we see in the sky, when the Almighty tells us himself that they're going to be throwing sky signs and wonders in the skies, then we're going to be missing the point. Yes, we're supposed to be paying attention. Yes, we're supposed to be aware of the situation so that we don't get caught off guard. But being too aware can also mislead you. You understand? Focus on the Most High. Focus on the will of the Master, of Yeshua. What does he want you to do today? I'm supposed to get up, honor him, say my prayers, study, soak his word into my
unprecedented risk to all life on Earth, as scientists are calling for a halt on all mirror life microbe research. This is a scenario that's actually worse than the gray goop scenario. It's downright frightening, and what we're talking about here today is bacteria which are constructed from mirror images of molecules that are already found in nature. We're talking about things like isomers, or left-handed and right-handed molecules that have slightly different properties and applications and uses, but they're saying this mirror life, if you were to use these mirror molecules to make a mirror microbe, a fully sort of backwards bacteria, if you can imagine that, it would be an unprecedented risk to life on Earth, because these new mirror microbes could slip past the immune defenses of natural organisms, which would put humans, animals, and plants at risk of lethal infections. And a lot of our drugs are built to work on the normal standard molecules and may not work on mirror molecules with these new organisms. Basically, if you're ever worried about super bacteria or antibiotic resistant bacteria or something like that, this is that on steroids. So much so that the original report from Stanford was one about the technical report on mirror bacteria feasibility and risks. Scientists have decided that it would take about a decade to get all of the molecules mirrored enough to make a single mirror bacteria, but if we artificially or synthetically make one of these things, it could grow exponentially and take over the whole planet. We don't know if any natural defense could stop something like this. So the scientists are saying, hey, how about we just don't do this one at all?